Hello, my name is Mark Anthony Dubose Jr. I was born July 4th, 1986. I want to say thank you for tuning in. Today I want to talk about something, talk about like our society and the way that things are going to be able to move regardless of what people are feeling and thinking and wanting and desiring. And that's the sense of we're always moving to a, say, safer society is what seems to be like the norm when you're looking at history. Things are kind of chaos. There's war. We're doing war to get away from war, to get away from chaos, to get into peace, to get into a better place. And that better place happens when we all as a collective say, this is what we want, this is what we desire, this is what we like even need. Sometimes you may not know what you want until it's forced upon you. And then you realize, oh yeah, I actually did need that. I actually do want that. That is what is absolute, like 100% needed. And today I want to talk about that in the sense of animals. That we've always have animals in our lives since the beginning. In all of history, there's always animals around. But we've always had different uses and different purposes and different desires for all of these animals. And then at some point we move on and we leave the animals behind, and it is what it is. Of course, there's going to be those people out there, they're going to be very, very upset, such as pigeons. And which is weird about the pigeons of our world today, especially here in the States. We used to use them. We used to like rely on them to do things for us. They were like mail deliverers. They did a lot for us. We had a bunch of them. We took care of them. We housed them. We fed them. We bred them. We started to train them to be the best that they could possibly be. And then one day, it's like we don't need this anymore. We don't need it. So what happened on that day that we don't need it anymore? Of course, there's going to be the big mouths that say, hey, blah, 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 like that's wrong. That's not right. Look at these pigeons. Look at these pigeons. But then as a collective group, we all said, yeah, the mail carriers and the automobile and the planes and the trains and everything allow us to be able to do this. We don't need to put all this work into these pigeons that, it's good, but it's not as effective as a train. At the end of the day, it's never going to be as effective as cars and planes and all that. Pigeons aren't that good. They're good, but they're not that great. Then it's like same thing with horses. We see horses for everything. Like they go anywhere to do anything. We had horses everywhere. And then literally almost overnight, the horses disappeared. Why? We got cars, we got planes, we got trains. What the heck do we need a horse for anymore? So all these horses that we were working so hard and all these people that had all these skills, because this is a thing that's weird to me that almost every single human being at one point before used to know how to work a horse. Used to train them, ride them, do something with them, feed them, cut their hooves, groom them, do everything. We used to know how to, everybody from the age of like born to you just dying at 180 years old. Everybody knew how to work a horse. Everybody knew the animal. Every single person, because if you didn't, you wouldn't be able to survive. Because it was like the cornerstone of being able to do anything on this planet in reality for a long time. And then it just disappeared. And of course, you're going to have those people out there that are going to be yelling and shouting and huffing and puffing about, look at the horses and this the horses. And then we just dumped them and left them and just said, y'all going to be wild and free. And we're just going to, unfortunately, how they do it today is they just breed and collect. And then every few years or so, they go out and they wrangle them up and they sell them for either to sell them for someone to use as a hobby or they sell them for meat. And that's just what we did. We used to cherish this animal with our lives. To now we just sell them like they're just a commodity of like a worthless thing, of like they're a nuisance, they're a pest. And it's really interesting, the evolution. And I'm seeing this next evolution that we're going through with these dogs. We use these dogs heavily. Like they were a lifesaver for us. They protected our farm, they protected the land, they protected us, they protected each other. They helped us get food. They helped us do so much things, an incredible amount of things. But now we no longer need them. Now we have no desire for the dog to do what it is that we like. We don't need them. We want them. They're cool. They're shiny. They're pretty. They're furry. They're hairy. They're interesting. They just do weird stuff that can really put a smile on your face. But we don't need them. And when we don't need them, what are we going to do? We're going to dump them off at the same way we did a pigeon, the same way we did a horse, the same way we did all these other animals before. The same way we don't even work buffalo anymore because we have cows that we've been creating to be able to get meat from easier. All these things, we just dump them and move on to that next. We're in this stage now that we're about to dump the dog and move on to something next. This is why I can see why a lot of people get in their feelings when it comes down to this whole concept, because I get it. I don't approve of it, but I get it because this has to happen. We have to give up on the dog. We have to find that next because we have no need, we have no purpose, we have no desire for the dog anymore. The dog is just going absolutely insane and is starting to become a nuisance. It's starting to become a pest. It's starting to become just dangerous in reality for us as humans because they don't need to do anything anymore. This is why for me, I don't feel a sense of danger, period, with any of my dogs. But a lot of y'all feel danger with your dog when you're looking at it. Like, it may bite me, it may this. I am never, ever, ever, ever nervous that my dog is going to chew on me, ever. I'm never nervous that my dog is just going to do something crazy to anybody even. I'm never nervous about that because they're all doing what they're supposed to do. And that need is gone, so the dogs are getting in this like rampage. So I get it today. You know, I don't like it, but it has to happen, unfortunately. Just my opinion. My opinion. I don't care what anybody has to think or say about what I'm about to say next. It just is what it is, but I understand the progress that we as humans have to be able to go through. It's going to be hard and harsh and really, 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 I'm going to get into a lot of people's feelings. It is what it is. But the dog today, if the dog is aggressive, we got to put the dogs down. If the dog is not, is weary and suspicious and reactive, we got to put the dogs down. We cannot continue to keep on thinking that we're going to have these dogs, keep breeding these dogs, because we don't need these dogs. And these dogs are going to become a nuisance that it's going to start to become dangerous. We have to just get rid of it right away. If the dog doesn't work with positive rewards of what we call us today is giving a dog a treat to get it to work, we have to put the dog down. We're no longer going to need the whole, say, balance thing of it. So this is why I can see the whole push where there's the people that want to get rid of corrective collars. We don't want to get rid of the corrective collars. We want to get rid of the dogs that need that because we don't want that dog anymore because it's a nuisance to society because it's just not needed. When you go to the shelters, this is something I would just recommend to any and everybody. You don't even need to go there. You can just go online and just look at the pictures. You're going to see a common theme of like say, put it at 100. There's 100 dogs in that shelter. You're going to see like 90 of them all look the same. They look super similar. And you're going to notice that there's certain breeds that just are not in the shelters, period. They're just not there. Like a lot of doodles and a lot of poodles, a lot of these dogs, they're just not in the shelters. And it's not because they're prettier. It's because you can literally punch the dog in the face and it doesn't want to bite you. Because dogs don't get super excited that they're just killing other dogs and biting people and killing people. And they're just not like that. You can pull the dog's tail and it looks back at you like, you pulled my tail. But come and pull the tail of my German Shepherd and see what's about to happen. It's not going to be like this friendly thing. This is the thing. You leave my dogs alone and let them be, and they're perfect. They're a blessing. But we don't need our dogs like that anymore. We need to be able to do AKC temperament tests and all these tests. Everybody, you need to be able to touch the dogs. Like for my dogs, just don't touch my dogs, and they're perfect. I have no fear, no worry, no nothing. Anything's going to happen. But go ahead and start tapping my dog on the forehead. Go ahead and start slapping it around. Go ahead and start pinching it. Go ahead and start pulling on its tail. I have a few that won't, my Dalmatian won't do nothing. But again, I just don't see many Dalmatians ever in a shelter system. Ever. They had such a bad rep for years of being so aggressive and this and that, but yet you just don't see the dogs anywhere, and they're all in somebody's homes right now because they're not that much of a danger like, say, a German Shepherd, say a lot of the bully breed dogs that we have. People are terrified of these dogs, and that's why they're all in the shelter. And unfortunately, the main thing that I'm going to say behind this is the only way that we're going to be able to move forward to our next evolution of stuff is we got to put all of them down. Every single one that you can't just slap in the face. I'm not talking about literally like slapping it hard. I'm talking about just, I don't know what it is with folks. They always just got to come and pat the top of the head of the dog. I just don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't get it personally. But for me, I don't get it in the sense of I don't get it because I didn't grow up in a we touch each other type environment. There are other cultures of humans that men hug each other. Men kiss each other on the cheeks. There's other cultures where men, they hold each other in the face and they talk to each other like this. So that, y'all just keep doing what y'all doing. But in reality, pretty much most and majority of all of the United States of America, we don't do that. We don't do that in Mexico. We don't do that in Canada. We don't do that. We do a handshake or we just do a wave like, hey, how's it going? Especially just this COVID stuff that went on. It's like, hey, how's it going? We keep it's like a permanent distance in us. So we don't touch them anymore. But the thing is, all these tests, they want us to a random stranger to be able to come up and touch the dog. And if the dog isn't able to basically handle that, the dog fails. And if the dog fails, put the dog down. That's the progress of where we're going next. So if the dog we don't need corrective collars anymore because if the dog needs it, you're going to put the dog down. Millions upon millions and millions and millions and millions of dogs are going to die. And they're going to die readily soon because of the evolution of where we're going. We don't need them anymore. How many people need a pest control bully breed dog to get pigs, to get kangaroos, to get everything, mountain lions, bobcats, to get them off your property? You don't need that. And that's just in the dog. It just enjoys that. Why do you think they like tugging on stuff? Why do you think they like pulling on spring poles and stuff? Why do you think they like climbing? Some of these dogs are so impressive, they can climb trees. They can watch the wall climbing stuff that these dogs do. These dogs are like literally going 20 feet up, climbing a wall, running and climbing a wall to get to the tug on the top of that thing. It's impressive. And then we got this dog that has no purpose for us anymore, living in our living room. And it's starting to get frustrated and frustrated and frustrated. And then you think, I'm going to fix it by throwing a treat at the dog, or with my positive rewards, or what so-called positive rewards today is, if you can't train the dog, then there's something wrong with, someone will say it like this, something wrong with the owner, this and this. But something I would just recommend to any treat trainer out there is, if you got that person that the treats aren't working, just take their dog for a little bit and see if what you do is going to get that dog into a better place. You have to be able to do that. But the thing is, you can't. You can't. And so many people just won't stand up and just say, I can't do it. This dog is showing these aggressive tendencies. It's wanting to snap at me. It's wanting to bite at me. I keep giving it treats and it's not working. Just admit that you just can't do anything with it. That's the thing that we need right now, so that the next evolution could actually finally just kick in. Because people are giving people this false hope that giving a dog a treat is going to get it better. It's not going to get it better. They're just getting this false hope because people just like to lie. They like to make their money. As soon as that just kicks in, when all these trainers finally say, I don't know what to do with that dog, my treat training is not doing nothing for that dog, that's the moment that they're just going to say, put all these dogs down, because they're not going to have an option. They're going to start to make it illegal. They're going to start to put laws in that you can't use corrective collars. You can't use this. You can't do this. You can only you have to go through a certified, a dog trainer that only works this way. I hear this from so many people. If the dog trainer doesn't use treats, you should run away, because they're a no good trainer. They're gonna do everything wrong to your dog. And that's the mindset that people are in. And in reality, I get it, because that's the future of what our dogs need to be. They have to be that way. If they can't take a treat and get better, we have to get rid of the dog, because it's gonna become an absolute disaster for us in our society, because we don't need it anymore. The same way that if we all just had horses the way we used to, my goodness, they'd be getting hit by cars. It would be a disaster right now, because we would have like 8 horses out here. Most people had a couple dozen, because we needed them to plow the fields. And I mean, some people use the mules and different other animals and stuff, but you would have every household would have like a dozen horses out here right now. And we just take the car and we don't use the horse anymore. We don't work the horses anymore. We're not riding them anymore. When they're just sitting out here, you're going to run into all kinds of problems. We had to get rid of them. And any that just showed any sort of, because this is the world that I live in right now, that it was hard at first. If you have a ram, a billy goat, a bull, if you have a mama that's not taking care of the kids, you put them down or you sell them and they go to meat instantly. You don't play around with it. I got my rooster man right now that is not playing on my games right now. He's not doing what I need him to do. He's about to be Ophi's food tonight. And I don't even think twice about that anymore. He's not going along with the system of what we need. He's out of here. He's gone. Like, everyone that deals with animals knows this. When you get those cows and you let them out of the trailer and they go and one keeps jumping the fence and jumping the fence and jumping the fence, it's gone. It's gone. I'm not going to think twice about keeping that animal, try to rehabilitate that, try to train that animal, try to work with that animal. It's gone. And this is the mindset that most people have when they're looking at these dogs, with seeing that they're looking aggressive and they're looking dangerous and they're being hostile. They just don't understand. It's in their brains to just instantly see it that way. Why would you keep that? That's something that people would say. Why would you keep that dog? Why would you keep it? I know someone really close to me, not close to me in a personal, but close to me in a sense of, I just did a lot of work and I've been around them a lot. They put their dog down because it got in the way, and it would keep getting in the way of his wife. And she fell down once finally and broke something, a bunch of stuff. They put that dog down in a flash because it kept doing it. And finally, when she got hurt, that dog was shot. It's gone. That's the mindset of people. If the dog isn't coming on, just get rid of it. And let's keep working at the ones that are going to be good for our society and what we need today. Because we no longer need, say, healers to go out and work the cows. We no longer need them. We no longer need livestock guardian dogs that are wanting to run away, wanting to protect and guard, because they don't need to protect and guard anymore. But for mine, if I have a random dog, if I have a coyote, if I have even a mouse or a rat come out here, I want that dog to look the way that everyone on the planet right now, not everyone on the planet, but everyone, like 99% of people, you would never want to see your dog look how mine looks. He looks intense. He's like Let a random dog come up here right now. I wish that I could get video of that so you could see that it is like times 10 what your dog is doing in the neighborhood when it's reactive on the leash. But I coach my dog to be reactive. I coach him to be the best of the best to keep everything out here safe for me. But we don't need that anymore. That's dangerous. It's not dangerous for me where I live because you have no rights to come here. You have no rights to even walk. Maybe people don't even walk in front of my property. People move around way on the outskirts, on the outsides, but no one's like in my front yard. No one's in my backyard, like living in a neighborhood. In a neighborhood, everyone is in your house in a neighborhood. You can't have a dog acting like that. And if you do, it's going to be the recommendation, put the dog down. Get another dog that no matter what, it's just, I guess the word to use is desensitized to the world by birth. And all these dogs that are reactive, you got to get them out of here. And we can only keep on working with the ones that are good. This is the future of where we're headed. We have to get rid of everything because we don't no longer need it. And then the next animal is going to be who knows what, but there's going to be the next one. Because now that we got rid of, say, all these other ones, we got rid of birds. There's not even just the pigeons. We used to use falcons and hawks, and we used to use all kinds of these animals. And all these animals are the horses. Now we're going to get rid of the dog. And now there's going to be something next that's going to be so cute and so cuddly that you can just hold it all day and just put all your just emotions onto it. And it will never, ever have problems. It'll never, ever give you pushback. It'll never, it's just going to be this animal that's just there to just be your emotional little teddy bear. But it's not a teddy bear, but it's going to be alive. There's going to be that next. And I'm kind of trying to figure out what that next is. Me personally, I think it's going to be some rabbits because they are really fascinating little things. And it don't matter what you do to it. They're like there for you. They want to sit with you. They want to hang with you. They'll sit on your lap. You can hug them. You can pet them. You can do whatever you want all day long. And they don't get emotionally attached. And that's like the next. We're going to have that next. The dogs are fading away. And any dog that just doesn't get in line with, oh, if you give it a treat, doesn't fix it, they're going to get put down. And unfortunately, it's going to be mandated that it's going to have to get put down. Because here in Texas, our rules are kind of weird when it comes down to, say, dangerous dog. Like the dog has to do so much. It has to cause so much chaos to be considered a dangerous dog. It's not just like the dog bit a kid and now it's a dangerous dog. No, it's got to do it again and again. And then you got to get like sued from it. It's like a long process to get to. And then even if the dog is classified as a dangerous dog, you still don't have to put the dog down. You just have to contain it. You got to keep it in a secure kennel. You can, this was weird. So that dog could be like that. The dog could be all on edge, high on all. It's just what do you call it? Hormones and everything going on inside of it. And then all of a sudden you're like, I like the way that dog looks and that it could still be breeding. They still keep putting puppies out there that are still going to have this oomph behind them. That's a beautiful thing for me if I need to use that dog for some work. But it's a horrible thing for you if you're living in a suburb or an apartment and you just want your dog to just be there and just to hang out and just calmly be able to just take it around the block and just have fun with it. All of these dogs are going to they're going to all get killed. It's going to be mandated. And that's why I can see the new push of why we have to ban corrective collars. That's the start of where we're headed to next. That's the start. The start is to ban all the tools because it's not against the dog. It's not against the human. It's for the human, for us, for society to be able to have a more peaceful world. Because there's people that are seeing we have issues going on right now. There's problems going on. We have to progress to that next thing now. And that next thing is once we get corrective collars gone, now the dog is having issues. Now you can take the dog to the vet. The vet's going to say, hey, we can get the dog medication. Now the vets are going to be able to have authority the same way that human doctors like psychologists and psychiatrists have of saying, hey, this person is mentally unstable. We have the power to lock them up. We have the power to take them away, to make sure that they're not a part of society because they are a danger to society. These vets are now going to have the power to remove dogs from people and saying the medication's not working. So if the medication's not working, our next step is we got to put the dog down or we got to be able to have a location to be able to put these dogs. And the unfortunate thing is, I see the transition next will be, they'll have a place to be able to put the dogs. They're unadoptable and they're just in cages just because they don't want to kill them. They'll just feed them and leave them in kennels all day. No one gets to interact with these dogs. No one gets to do nothing with these dogs, but just feed it, water it, clean the kennel. And that's it. And that soon enough, that's going to go away because that's going to be considered unhumane. I think that's the way of using that. But then it's just going to be put the dogs down right away. It's just progresses that are about to happen. And it's not to get back at you to be mad at you. It's not to get back at the dog to be mad at the dog. It's to move forward in our evolution of what we're doing. We don't need them. And if we don't need them and they're acting crazy, then we need to get rid of I go crazy in my language, but we got to get rid of the crazy ones. We can only keep the ones that give the dog a treat and it's good to go. And those dogs are the only dogs that we're going to be breeding in the future. We're never going to breed a dog anymore that shows any sort of, so out of the breedings, there's usually 8 to 12 puppies. 2 of those puppies are going to make it. The rest are just going to put them down. They're going to put them down. This is the stuff that we used to do, and it was easy. Nowadays, everyone's like, oh, save all the puppies, save all the puppies. But in my opinion, we shouldn't save all the puppies, because this is my border collie, for instance. He came from thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dead dogs. The breeder that was breeding this specific line to get the McCollum line, he was calling, which is crazy, the McCollum line, he was calling most all of his dogs from the litters because they weren't the standard. And he would just kill them right away. Right away. He's not, I'm going to raise it up to fix. No, he knew what it was wrong right away. And he said, we're not doing this. And that was to create a powerful dog, a strong, a secure, a sound, a just resilient dog. But who needs that anymore? This dog right here is the first one that going into an apartment needs to be put down. He'll be put down because we don't need that. We need a dog like my Johnny. That's just chill. But he still has a little bit too much to him that he sees bunnies and he sees things. We don't need that anymore. All these dogs that have any of that in them, we're going to take all that, strip that from them, and just going to have to kill them all. But it's hard today. I get it. 100 years ago, they would just kill the dogs. The German Shepherds, if they didn't come out just insane, intense, just hardcore, they just put them down. They weren't like, oh, let's just keep feeding it and no, they just put them down and only focused on the stock of what they're looking for. And everything else they just let go of. But today, again, I don't want to say it like this, but we're too soft today to do that. But that's what actually, in reality, has to happen. It has to happen again. We have to start breeding these dogs for the opposite of everything we breed dogs for. And the dogs that don't make the cut, we got to get rid of them. That's where our society is going. It's not for me to even care or judge or worry or I'm just indifferent to it and just watching it happen. Because for me, if I didn't have a need for what I have my dogs doing, I wouldn't have them. Period. I just wouldn't have them. I wouldn't put all the work into it to get something to just try to have a decent life. It's never going to have a decent life. I want my dogs to have a good life. And I would only want to be able to bring in dogs that have, like my very first dog I ever had, Staffordshire Terrier. An absolutely amazing dog. This breeder spent all time in the world and making sure that the prey drive completely out of this dog. Any sort of just high energy completely out of this dog. The dog was just the best dog on the absolute planet. And all his dogs like that. Every dog that he has that he puts out for sale were like that. Just amazing sweethearts of a dog. You could just hug the dog. You could take the dog for a walk. It looks at other dogs. It's just in the world. It's just so happy to be alive. That's what we need to be breeding for. Not breeding for this high intensity. Not breeding for this reactivity. Not breeding for this power. And there's going to start to get to a point that people are going to need licenses to even be able to get these dogs. I don't believe that we should stop dog sports. I think that we should still push that and push that further along. Because for the people that like that, man, you like your dogs. You love you. I don't want to say love because I don't think that we can really love, but you like your dogs. You like the sport. You like the activities. I think that should never disappear. You want to do that? You stay over there. You go ahead and you go do that. And you're going to end up needing to have some sort of certification of being able to handle these dogs and knowing that these dogs can never end up in the public's hands. These dogs are for that over there and pet dogs are over here. And people that do that, you work your sports stuff and you stay over there. You stay over there. Don't ever even think about looking at a pet dog. Don't think about, I'm going to work that and then work this. No, you stay in your lane. That's going to end up having to happen because we're having too much cross contamination going on right now. That's giving people wrong information. That's creating dogs to be more reactive than actually making them get better. A lot of these tactics are making them more. And these dogs that are reactive, that it's just going to have to happen in the future. They're going to put them down. You're going to put it down. The second that a dog snaps at somebody, they're going to put the dog down. The second, it's going to have to happen. Thank you. It's the most wildest thing. It's raining, and it's been raining. It's rained Oriole done. It's rained 3 days this week so far, and it's just on a steady rain today. Like it's been raining for like the last 4 hours. In August, in Texas, in Central Texas, it's Oriole done. Oh, get down. It's raining. And it's such a refreshing feeling of such a refreshing just atmosphere of life is so cool. It's so different. I don't think I've ever experienced living in Texas with it raining so much that it's been raining this year. I've never experienced this. It's like I'm not in Texas. It's like I'm not in Central Texas anymore. I'm in like Missouri or Illinois. It's so neat. And it's like just that alone, it really just lets me look at everything as the changes. There's changes going on. There's changes. Someone could say they're manipulating the weather, but there's changes going on in the world. We're always changing and getting into what I want to hope to say is always a better way, a better place. There's a bunch of people on this planet that are like, oh, the world is ending, the world is doomed, and everything is getting worse. No, everything is just fixing itself to be able to get to a better place. We're getting rid of, what I want to say is the issues, the problems. And we're starting to be able to expose, the problems are starting to become like, the way I want to say it is exposed and shown. Like the problems, the real problems in our world right now are starting to just be, it's just open. It's all out there. It's no longer hidden in the closet, as you could say. It's out there. It's everywhere. We're no longer hiding it. We're like even displaying it on the news. We're displaying it everywhere. And that's the thing that I'm seeing as our progression of why I know we're going to get into a better place in the future. Because we're seeing the chaos. And we're going to have to start to do something about the chaos instead of just keep seeing it and recognizing it and realizing it. Because there's some people on this planet that think like, oh, everything's perfect. No, it's kind of crazy right now. It's kind of wild. People are so hostile. People are so angry. People are so just enraged. People are so depressed. People are so just highly anxiety ridden. And all of this starting to become exposed. And I can see that in just folks' dogs. I can see the problems being exposed. And your dog is just like lashing out and trying to eat every other dog's face off and people's faces. Unfortunately, some of your dogs are like crazy at trying to chew on people. And those dogs in specific are the ones that they're going to go first. And they have to go first, unfortunately. We're starting to be able to see it. It's starting to just be shown. And we can't just hide from it and shove it under the rug and think that it's not there. It's here. It's going on. And that's just the progressions that I see personally. Just paying attention to history. Not that we repeat history, but we just keep moving forward. Everything that we needed, we get rid of. And we throw it away like it's nothing. And then we move on to the new. That's what we as humans do. That's to say we're destructive, but that's what we do. And that's the thing where, for me personally, I'd kind of like I like where I'm living. I don't say where I'm living, but the time that I'm living. But I wish that I could have had like a year or two of living when the horse was the main show, so that I could just get that experience of just seeing how we used to be with them. Because I'm going to guarantee you, the way that we were with our horses is how we are with our dogs today. People are just so hardcore about these dogs. The dog stores and the dog treats and the dog this and the dog that. I guarantee you, we was like that with our horses. We got to get the best feed, got to best this, got to train them the best, got to work them the best, got to make sure they're on the best diets. I guarantee you, we may have been even deeper with the horses than we are in the dog. But yet, where are we with the horse today? We've given up on it. We've given up on it. And we just use them for food. And we use them for just for show. Just to like, oh, look how pretty of a horse I have. And you don't use it. And that's what our dogs are starting to become. Dogs just start to become food. Unfortunately, they already are. Dogs are turned into dog food. But and just for pretty, for show. Like a Texas Longhorn. That's what they are. They're not meant for food. They're not meant for anything. They're just big old cows that stand in the field just because they're pretty. They're pretty. That's all that they're there. They have absolutely no purpose other than just being there. They call them yard art around here. They're just pretty. They're beautiful animals, and they're very, very expensive animals. Very expensive animals, just for pretty. And if one is not getting along, it doesn't just chill and hang out in the field, it's gone. It's gone. We don't think twice on, I'm going to train this. I do, because I personally want to be able to work with all animals. I don't know what it is. I'm just moving backwards in life, but I want to be able to work all of them. But sometimes, some circumstances, I'm not putting my effort into this. This is ridiculous. I'd rather move on and work with the ones that are nice, that are good. And at the end of the day, it's how I look. They're animals. They're animals. When I see animals that just aren't working, they're gone. They're gone. When I see animals that are just picking fights for no reason at all, they're gone. They're done. It's like me right now. I'll start making some videos of it. I've been making like little short videos. I'll start posting them. But I got videos of my two dogs, my Border Collie Oreo and my German Shepherd Kahi. They've been fighting since the day I brought Kahi home. They just been fighting. So I've always just kept them separated. And I've always just like, I don't care. because it didn't really bother me any. But for some reason, this just past couple of weeks, I'm just like, I'm sick and tired of this. If y'all just can't get along, something's about to happen. Something's about to happen. Something's about to happen to one of y'all. Something's happened. Because all of us are going to hang out together. And I've been working on that. It's creepy, because I don't want to say it's creepy, but it's kind of impressive to me. This is the biggest challenge that I have when I'm talking about working with these dogs. This is the biggest challenge for me. Because I had two dogs that every time they see each other, they instantly just go into a fight, and they'll puncture, they're bleeding every single time. Every time. They couldn't be in sight of each other. If they were free in the sight, they just instantly would run at each other. Instant. It don't matter what I said. It don't matter it didn't matter nothing. I could have them both on a leash right next to me, and they both, it was intense. It was just crazy. But at the end of the day, that's what I wanted from them. I want them to see if a dog is running at you, you better do something about it and don't back down. So I have two dogs that don't want to back down, which I like that. I used them to be able to do that to each other so that they both knew how to be able to do that. So they both know I don't need to worry about another dog on this planet because I'm the most powerful dog on the planet. That's why my dogs are not like, especially my Kahi, he's not reactive, period, to dogs. He'll look at a dog like, what you gonna do about it? And then we're just like, okay, we'll just move on. Because he has that power knowing I could follow through. And just this past couple of weeks, I can have him out. I post a couple of videos here, a couple of shorts. They're just literally like side by side. They look at each other like, hey, what you doing? What's going on? But they're just like realizing, hey, I don't need to mess with you. You don't need to mess with me. And we're starting to get along. Because for me, I'm just sick and tired of it. I want to be able to utilize all my dogs at all times, at any moment's notice, and don't have to worry about, I got to have one here and have one there. So now, the simple stuff that I do, when I talk about sit down, relax, sit down, do nothing, sit down, be calm, stand up, be calm, stand up, be firm as a leader should. No, I said no. And the dog's like, okay, I understand what you're saying. Now the dogs can just be able to run and be able to do what they do right side by side with each other. It's a pretty incredible thing to be able to see. But for the average person out there, I'd have put my German Shepherd down. I mean, that's what they wanted to do with the dog in the dog school anyways, because he's a hot mess. No one was able to handle this dog. He was just going absolutely insane. He would bite you to try to get him out of the kennel. He would bite you to try to put him back in the kennel. He would bite you to try to give him his food. He just knew I could chew on you and get what I want. Try to touch him and he would bite you. He's a horrible dog. A horrible dog. But for some people, you say, oh, I want to save the dog. Now, in reality, I didn't look at it in the sense of I want to save the dog. I, to myself, said, if I want to be able to help people working with dogs, I need to figure this out. Because I need to figure this out. That's how I looked at it. But for the average person, so I need to rescue, I need to save this dog. And then he would keep the dog isolated. No, you need to put that dog down. There's no reason for that dog to be alive. There's no reason for it. And that may sound harsh, but that's just the reality of where we are today. That dog is a beautiful dog because his next job that he's going to be doing is, I have a shadow man to protect the front. I'm going to have him to protect the back. He's going to be free in that back 3 acres. No, maybe not 3, maybe the 2 acres, but he's going to be free in the back 2 acres of being my perimeter, making sure nothing comes in. He's going to be put right to work doing what the German Shepherd needs to be doing. He's going to make sure there ain't nothing. Ain't nothing. No skunk, no squirrel, no raccoon, no nothing. Nothing is going to be around out there. And he's going to make sure of it. And he's going to stay on duty 24/7. He can get his little bit of sleep during the day, but at night he's going to be pacing, running the perimeter, over and over and over and over again, the way that a dog is supposed to be doing, making sure that nothing gets in and nothing gets out. But that's the Dutch Shepherd, is nothing get out. But the Shepherd is good for keeping nothing gets in. That's why I want a Dutch Shepherd as well. I want them to be able to work hand in hand to be able to understand what it is I'm looking for. But I was just like, a dog like that, our future, we should never, ever have a dog like that. If there's a dog in a German Shepherd in the shelter right now that's barking like crazy and snapping at folks, we just got to, because there's shelters here. They put them down in days. They don't give them weeks or months. They put them down in days. They see that dog, it comes in. That's the trickery that they play with these no-kill shelters around here. It'll end up in a no-kill shelter. They can't adopt it, or they adopt it and it ends up back there because it bit someone, or this happens. And all they do is shuffle the dog to a kill shelter. And then they just kill it in 2 days. That's what they do. So you have these so-called I don't know if people know all this about that stuff. That's why, to me, I don't really care to work in the rescue and the shelter work, because it's lies. It's manipulation. It's just so deceiving. There's such liars to take your money from you so that they can make their shelter look good and all the people on payroll look good. But they're lying about what they do. They're killing these dogs. They don't kill it, but they send it to its death to another place to just kill it. And then they just go, because there's a shelter around here. I don't remember the name of it, or I do remember the name of it, but I don't want to talk about that name because then people try to go over there. But they literally have barrels and barrels of dead dogs because they come in, and if nobody adopts it within 2 or 3 days, they just put them down. They do mass killings or killings makes it sound bad, but it is what it is. They do mass callings like 3 days a week. And they're just putting them all in the fridge and the freezers, putting the dogs down and freezing them for someone to come to just take them all away. Just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dogs. Hundreds of dogs. Stuff that no one wants to talk about. But that's the unfortunate thing is it has to happen. It has to happen. Because if these dogs are not cuddly, if they're not submissive just because, they're not just so forgiving that, like I'm telling you, literally, you slap the dog and nothing comes from it. Literally, have another dog, because I've seen this with a lot of little, what dogs is that? The little doodles, because I've had a couple of them over here that I was taking care of, that if my Johnny man would give it attitude, it would just look at him like, hey, there's nothing wrong here. Like, we're perfect. The dog had like zero, like hostility, or you want to use the word aggression. They had like zero. Those are the only dogs that are going to make it in our future. Because we don't need the aggression no more. We don't need the reactivity no more. Reactivity is what a dog is. It's something that I don't think people understand, that we're not getting the full picture here. Reactivity is what's needed in the dog to do the job that they need to do. I want the dog to be reactive, and the more reactive it is, the better the dog is. The more reactive the dog is, the better it is for sports. The more it's going to just go deeper and work harder and be pushier and more demanding and just be aggressive. The more that they are, the more reactive it is. I want the dog to be suspicious and weary. I want the dog to be powerful, being suspicious and weary. Knowing that suspiciousness is what triggers the dog to like really react, to go do something just insane. Last night, mouse hunting, they unfortunately missed it. But there was one that was rarely, they run on the ground anymore. But there was one running on the ground. The power of my collie and my Dalmatian to go and chase this thing is like insane. It's insane. It's scary looking to the average person that would ever see a dog do what it's doing. But I coach it to be the best that they could possibly be. They're literally like scared of these dang rats. I don't know what it is. They're scared of it. They're nervous of it. So when they're nervous of it, they try to get it out as fast as possible. They get it, they chew it, they shake it, it's gone. Instant. It's fast. They're not doing it because they're mad at it. No, they're doing it because they're a little nervous, a little suspicious, a little weary. They're reactive over it. And they get it out of here. We don't need that no more. And a lot of these dogs, that's who they are. The dog isn't reactive because it has a training issue. The dog is reactive because that's what it is. It's what it is. You don't train that out of the dog. You coach the dog into it so that you can learn how to be able to use that for the time and place. And then the dog doesn't become, say, reactive when you're not doing what it is that you're supposed to be doing. So when I'm not rat hunting, my dog isn't reactive now. They're just chilling. They're hanging out. But even if one runs, they're just going to look at it right now like it's not the time. Because I have a system. I have a light on. I have my rifle with me. Man, my new pellet rifle is like amazing. But I have all that with me, and they're like, now it's time to do this. And they will go. They're like freaking laser focused. They're like, where is it? Where is it? I lift the rifle up into the trees, and they're like, it's coming. It's coming. They're laser focused, and that's already in the dog. And I give them that they're supposed to do, and they're not doing that anywhere else. But we don't need them anymore. So if I didn't need them to do things like this for me, then I should get rid of the dogs, because that's the reality of it. The reality is we have these dogs that have this need. They have an internal reactiveness to them already because they're awesome to have that in them. I want my dog to be suspicious of people that come down the driveway, or even just having their car parked away. I don't even know if you can see it from here. No, you can't see it. I'll just do a walk up there on one video. It's far. I like that my dog, if there was a car in my driveway at the front gate, because it's about a quarter mile. I measured it one day. It's shy under a quarter mile for me to walk from here to that front gate. I want my dogs to bark. Say, hey, but there's somebody parked in front of the gate at the front. If somebody is walking past, because people rarely walk, but if there's somebody walking, I want them to bark the entire time from way over there to my whole side of vision. That's not even my property over there. But I want them to bark. When they see a person right there, they can bark. But when there's a bike, the bikes are fine. We don't bark at the bikes. But there's the person walking, bark at that person that's walking. Bark, bark the entire time until that person is out of frame. I want you to bark the entire time. Don't ever think about stopping. And that's already in the dogs to want to do. But to do that in your neighborhood, that's now dangerous. How my dogs look when they're barking, how they're jumping and showing them like the saliva's coming out of their mouths. It looks it's scary. But that's what I want here. And that's already in the dogs. We no longer need that. So if a dog does that, we got to put the dog down. That's going into the neighborhood. That's just the reality, unfortunately.